Now we'll talk about dividing polynomials. So let's say we have this 9x squared divided by 3x. First we're going to divide the coefficients, so 9 divided by 3, and then we're going to divide the variables, so x squared divided by x. Nine divided by 3 is 3, and x squared divided by x is going to be x. So whenever dividing powers with the same base, we subtract the exponents. So there's an invisible 1 here, and so x squared divided by x to the power of 1 equals x to the power of 2 minus 1. This illustrates an exponent law called the division law. And so the final answer is 3x. In this example, we have 6z squared y to the power of 4 divided by 5y. And so when we're dividing these numbers, 6 divided by 5, we can just leave it as a fraction. And then z squared is just going to stay the same. And then the y to the power of 4 becomes y to the power of 3 because we're dividing by y to the power of 1. And now in this example, what's different is that we have negative exponents. And so whenever you have negative exponents, you want to write the equation so that the final answer has positive exponents. And so the way to get each of these powers to have positive exponents is to move them to the opposite side of the fraction. So this z to the power of negative 3 is going to move to the denominator, and this y to the power of negative 3 is going to move to the numerator. And so when we rewrite it, we get 6 times y to the power of 3 now, y to the power of 2 over 4 times z to the power of positive 3 and times z to the power of 4. And now we are going to multiply each of the powers on the denominator and the numerator. So here we have 6 times y to the power of 5 over 4 times z to the power of 7. And you could also simplify at the beginning and then rearrange at the end. So you could do 6 times z to the power of negative 7 times y to the power of 5 over 4. And then you could just say, okay, so I've got the simplified answer. Now let's just move this to the bottom. And if you do it correctly, you'll end up with the same answer up here. And now we'll do a binomial divided by a monomial. So we have x to the power of 3 plus 6 divided by 2. And so we're going to go step by step. So x to the power of 3 divided by 2, and then 6 divided by 2. So x to the power of 3 divided by 2 would just be 1 over 2 times x to the power of 3. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. And so we just add these terms together. 1 over 2 times x to the power of 3 plus 3. So now let's say we have 5 times x to the power of 3 minus 4x squared plus 6x divided by 2x. So all we're doing is we're just applying what we know. And we're just going to leave it as a fraction. So 5 over 2 times x to the power of 2, and then negative 2 times x, and then 6x divided by 2x is going to be 3, because x to the power of 1 minus x to the power of 1 is 0. And so we just add these terms together. Again, remember the negative signs to get this.